Good day, everyone. It's March 22nd. The baseball season will be starting in less than a week. It's opening day. And unfortunately, we're not only going to talk about the MLB algorithm, which is available for sale for $100 from a guy, Ken Braverman here, a guy who doesn't gamble anymore. I don't gamble anymore. And the story that's making the rounds right now, a really huge story when it comes to baseball and when it comes to the gambling industry, something we're going to talk about, as well as this file today. So this algorithms can be fun. It harnesses a lot of different statistics and it can be helpful if you're going to be wagering. I don't recommend wagering, though. I don't recommend gambling on sports anymore. I've stopped, and you'll find me in much better spirits. I I don't touch it anymore. It became not enjoyable and started ruining my life, as it ruined the interpreter's life. Shohei's interpreter, Imohara, I believe is his name. Here's a guy who clearly has an impulsive problem, was extended a very healthy line of credit. When you're making $500,000 a year and you can rack up a $4.5 million tab with your bookie, you have a problem. I do not believe that Shohei was wagering on sports. I mean, I don't want to believe it, but I also don't believe it, because in order to accumulate a massive debt like that, you have to have impulsive behavior. It's not in Shohei's DNA. Ohtani is a man with structure, and if he had a gambling problem, I don't think he'd rack up a $4.5 million debt. He would probably do it right and wouldn't be doing Lord knows what. I hope that Imahara wasn't betting on Japanese basketball, because not Japanese basketball and Japanese baseball. Both of those sports are impossible to bet on. You can't win. It's crazy. So that's probably what happened. And I'm not going to fault Shohei. I think that the story that's out there that Shohei paid the gambling debt for his interpreter probably is true. Or the interpreter, deferred that money, somehow had access to it and used it to pay off his debt. But I believe that Shohei would have paid it off. I think Shohei's the type of guy who would want to move on from this and help his friend of many years, since he came into the league, I think at 18, would try to help him out and get him through this and do the right thing. And paying the bookie directly is the way you would do it, because you understand that when you have an impulsive gambling addiction, you can't stop, and you don't want to give the interpreter the money to have it flow through and pay the bookie. You just want to take care of this, get it over with, and continue the long lifetime relationship that you've had with your friend. So I'm not going to fault Ohtani at all. I also don't think he was wagering. It just doesn't fit his personality. And of course, I don't know his interpreter. But when you rack up a $4.5 million debt, we're talking 7 times his annual salary, you clearly have a problem. So all the speculation stories out there, the story we're getting is probably mostly accurate, which is that Ohtani was not wagering, and this is a symptom of an addiction, and we're just looking at really large numbers here, because the bookmaker, the private bookmaker, looks like was just offering the interpreter this amazing line of credit, because he knows that Ohtani's got a $700 million contract, and that he's probably going to get paid no matter how much debt is accrued by Imahara. And that's exactly what happened, right? Got paid off. So I think Shohei will continue his career and not be affected by this. But the reverberations of this kind of example of how bad gambling can get, those are going to reverberate through the industry, because I've talked about this in previous videos as I've really tried to move on from wagering, and I'm a better person when I don't wager, and I've been successful over the last several weeks, but it's still in the back of my mind. And sometimes I feel like late at night I just want to throw some money in and have some fun, and it's not fun though. When it's not fun, you have to stop, and it's ubiquitous. It's available on the phone all the time. I don't recommend doing it. That being said, there are those of you that are going to want to do it, and I've been getting requests about the MLB algorithm, So I'm going to prepare it for you. I'm putting it up on the website for $100. And the reason why it's $100 and more expensive than the other ones is there's so much going on in here and updating that has to happen that I don't want to be bothered with it unless I'm going to receive some type of reasonable compensation. So for those of you who would like to follow up with this and can do it right without ruining your life, the MLB algorithm might be for you. So let's talk quickly about preparing this thing for opening day, and there'll be a few more videos as we get to opening day, and then of course I'm going to stop doing the videos, but I will answer questions when you buy a copy about all the different elements of updating this. So first thing you need to do is you need to get the odds. You go into RotoWire and you get the odds here. These are the opening day games, what we're looking at right now. You're going to paste them in the odds sheet. So here we have our opening day games and starting pitchers, which apparently have already been named. Once you paste those odds in here, you're going to look at the matchup sheet and you're going to see all the games that are happening that day. Looks like there are going to be 16 games for the day. We have the times, we have the pitchers, we have some projections. Yep. Actually, it looks like there should only be 15 games. 1, 2, 3. What's going on here? Yeah, only 15 games. So to get rid of this last slot here, you can go up here, pull this up and clear it out. And now you have 15 game slots. Whenever you need to add game slots, you can grab these by 2 and start pulling them down. And you can get as many game slots as you need. So we have these 15 games. And the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab all the lineups. Now, the lineups are not available for opening day yet. This is your lineups for a spring training day here on the 22nd. You're going to copy the lineups. And you're going to go into the lineup sheet. And you're going to end up pasting them as match destination formatting right here. Once you do that, you're going to right click inside this pivot table and choose refresh. And you're going to get a look at all the teams and the players and the lineups. Okay. Now they're not going to match up for what we're looking at today. Almost all these lineup factors are going to be 0. Apparently a few of these pitchers are actually pitching today, which is the only reason why there are some lineups here for these games. But you have to have I guess Freddie Peralta is actually pitching for Minnesota today. That's why this matches up. We're a little bit more than 5 days. Let's see, is Freddie Peralta's name in here? It's gotta be. Take a look. Freddie Peralta. Yep, there he is. He's pitching for Milwaukee. So you paste the lineups in, and hopefully you'll get a lineup factor if the pitcher matches. And you'll start to get projections. Now, the reason why we don't have any actual scores in here is one of these doesn't match. It's Corbin Burns. Corbin Burns apparently plays for Baltimore now. So in order to get that to work, you have to go into the pitcher sheet, find Corbin Burns. Oh, he was on Baltimore. Corbin Burns was on Baltimore. So why isn't that working? Oh, because we need to put 2023 right here. This is where you put the year that the pitcher stats are that you're using. You start off the season using last year's stats because you won't have any for 2024. So we're going to have all 2023 pitcher stats in here. And now you actually get some projections. Now they're way off and these are not accurate because so many of the lineup factors are not in here yet because we don't have the lineups yet for the starting day. But that's the quickest way to update this and get this to start producing information. The next thing you'll need to do is you need to start adjusting rosters and getting the rosters accurate. We have a bunch of errors over here. Whenever you see something in pink, that means that we've got either a player that's not in the list or a player that's on the wrong team. If there's only one of these two is an error. So for example, here, Carlos Perez now plays for Oakland. Let's go into the batter sheet and let's go to the matrix first. Let's go to the matrix, find Carlos Perez. He does not play for the White Sox. He now plays for Oakland. Once you change that, you'll see that that error is going to go away. There's no longer an error here because we have Carlos Perez on the right team. Other players that are not in here at all. Juan Chacon plays for Boston. Because there are 2 errors here, that means we need to add him to the matrix sheet. Adding him here and adding his abbreviated or lineup name here, which is his full name. They put his full name in the lineups. He plays for Boston, so you put down Boston. Other players that have an abbreviated name in here, A. Badger for Toronto, you put his abbreviated name right here. Plays for Toronto. And then what is his full name? His full name, we look up his account on here. Badger. Badger? B-A-G-E-R? Yeah, his name is Badger. Why isn't he in here? Let's share this again. Just broke something. That Badger is his name. Let's find him. Toronto. Where's Toronto? Toronto here, Badger, this guy. His full name is Addison Badger. Grab his full name and put his full name right here in the matrix. And that will fix him. You end up going through, now he has no more errors here. You end up going through all these players that have errors. One of the reasons this file takes a long time to update in the beginning of the year is we have to get all these players on the correct team. Jose Barrero now plays for Texas. So we got to fix him, right? So this is the process that you go through. He doesn't play for Cincinnati anymore, he plays for Texas. And you also have to adjust him in the batter sheet because his team, if he was in here, search for values. He now does not play for Cincinnati. He plays for Texas. You look up player basic stats. Yes, and so his the player basic stats show up right here. Where's player basic stats? Yeah, this is last year's player basic stats. This is very annoying actually in the beginning of the year because we really need to adjust all the prior year stats, and it means we have to go in and change everything related to last year. It's such a pain in the butt, guys. This is why I don't do this anymore. But that's basically the process. And when you get this all complete, you'll end up having a complete lineup factor and rosters for everyone. You can also look at the batting order, which is another way of showing you where you have holes in your lineups. You're supposed to have 1 player in each one of these spots. And everywhere there's a hole means we're missing a player. And when there are 2 or 3 players, it means a player was traded around or you have multiple players in here, like Jose Rojas and Julio Rodriguez. One of these guys does not play for Seattle anymore. Who is it? Rojas or Rodriguez? Rojas plays for Seattle, so it must be Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez also plays for Seattle. Really? Do they have a doubleheader today? They might have a doubleheader today. That's another reason why you might have 2 people on there. Let's see if Seattle has 2 games today. Seattle. Yeah, Seattle has 2 games today, so that's one of the reasons why we have 2 players in there. All right, so that's another thing that could happen. You can see it never ends. This file's really complex. But that's basically a quick little rendition of how you start to update this file. Of course, I will do more videos, but I wanted to speak on, boy, gambling in baseball. It is the biggest story that's happened in a long time, especially when it comes to wagering in sports. And I feel bad for the interpreter. It's sickness, and you just have to stop. Gambling isn't for everyone. It's certainly not for me. It might be for you. And if it is, then you can go and get a copy of the MLB algorithm because it's the best thing out there when it comes to predicting games. There will be more videos to talk about this because I can't get away from it. You know, I get asked too much for this one this time of year, so we'll just do that. So if you're interested, go buy a copy. But my advice, don't gamble. It's done horrible things for my life. It's ruined a long lifetime relationship between Shohei and his interpreter, and you know, got very close to ruining his career. If the story changes and it turns out that Ohtani was the one who was gambling away all this money, you're really putting everybody in a huge tight spot there. What do you do? Like, there has to be no tolerance for gambling because the entire industry and the entire sport just gets flipped on its head, and you don't know which way is up if players are out there potentially manipulating their own player props because there's so much money in the system, and the temptation is too strong to alter what would hopefully be a natural outcome in a game and to fix things. It's something we all don't want to see. So that's my update. I wish Shohei the best just from seeing him and how he acts and his regimented Japanese structure, that it's not him. It's the interpreter, and that poor guy's got a lot to deal with now, unfortunately. All right, so good luck. May all your picks be winning. And if you're a stats and the numbers guy, go pick up a copy of the MLB algorithm. I'll help you out along the way, and then I will not help you out anymore because I won't be looking at it once we get about halfway into April. All right, good luck, and stay away from gambling.